Hello friends, I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. Today I'm going to ramble a little bit, so if you're not interested in that, go ahead and move on, I guess. But otherwise, you've read the title, I'm sure you know what I'm here for, and it's to talk about D&D, Dungeons & Dragons, and why it's probably not the game for me, and try to get into some of my reasonings why and thoughts along the way. Like I said, I'm just going to ramble a bit, and I think I rambled about this in one of my Discord groups not too long ago, and it kind of got me thinking of this as a video idea. But basically, when I talk to people saying, hey, I'm a board gamer, I'm a gamer, I enjoy gaming, everybody's like, oh, D&D, 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 Magic? Both of those, Magic I used to play, and I don't mind playing from time to time, but I've fallen off of that one as well. Maybe a separate video. But for D&D, I've tried it a couple times, and both times I was bored out of my mind. So, D&D is not for me, and I'm going to try to maybe figure out why. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just ramble for a little bit. But I like structure. I like Euro games. I like planning and pre-planning moves in advance and trying to see what I can do to make my next move better and better. In D&D, you just sit around and wait to cast a fireball spell if you've got enough mana or whatever. It's been a while since I played it. But I do remember one of the times I played it, it was a group of like 8, which I've heard from many people that is too many, but that was my first experience. Really, it was a group of 8 people that I kind of just tagged along. They added me to their party halfway through some campaign. Basically, they found me tied up in a dungeon, rescued me, and then I was part of the group. They had me make up a character. I had to read a couple books. I didn't have to read them or whatever, but they gave me the books to look through to figure out what I wanted to be and my stats and this and that. And I had no basis of anything to go off of, really. So not the best situation to start, obviously. But that event was, like I said, 8 people. So it was literally me sitting around for an hour and then going, so what can I do? After it was my turn again. And I was well out of my element, and so not the best first impression. I did try again in a smaller group and from the start, but again, it's not for me. I like board games with structure and rules and tangible things. I've got a board game set up on my table that I've read the rules of twice, and I'm trying to figure it out here, ready to play it. And thinking through the strategy of it and what I want to do now and what's that going to set up for later, where D&D is just kind of at the whim of the storyteller, the dungeon master. They're going to kind of guide you along, and then you're going to just use your character to do a thing. And I don't know, it's all imagination. And I like World of Warcraft, so it's not saying I'm not, or that I'm against fantasy, going out and casting magic spells and beating up bad guys and doing quests and things like that. I do that in World of Warcraft. But again, it's all tangible. I know what spells are my bar. I know what their cooldowns are. I know how much mana I have or hit points or whatever it is. I can see it all tangible. I can see how many enemies are there in front of me. And maybe I'm not going to go into that group because I know I can't take it on. I'll team up, with my friends and things like that. A similar concept without the imagination. It's there in front of me. It's tangible. I can see it. D&D, I don't know. I can't. Maybe I have bad imagination. Also, I'm not a story person. I've mentioned this in other videos too. If there's story games I played and they've been okay. I just played Stuffed Fables, and that's a children's story game, and even reading the little blurbs for that, I just kind of get bored reading through the little bits of flavor text. I played World of Warcraft, again, going back to that, for 20 years. I'm sure there's a story to it. I know there's a story to it. There's a bunch of story to it. Too much story to it. I don't read the quests. I go where, it says to go, and I go kill the things and gather the things. I don't care why. I raid, I do dungeons. I kill the bosses for reasons. I'm sure there's good reasons. I just do it for the loot. So Shame on me. I don't care about the story, I guess is what I'm getting at. And I get bored by story quite a bit. I haven't read a book in like 3 years. It's just not me. It's never really been me. I will read from time to time, and I've had stories I enjoy, but I don't like them being quote unquote forced upon me. I guess like if I want to read, I'll read. I'll read what I want to read. And if I don't want to read it, I'll stop reading, and it won't bother me. I think I'm halfway through 3 books right now, even, and I'd have to start them over at this point because I don't remember what's going on. But I'm just not, that's not me. And so like you combine the intangible with the story, with the randomness. Another thing I don't like, during that first D&D game I was talking about, they just told me to roll a D10. I rolled the D10 and then they told me what happened based on the roll. I had, it was all random chance. And it was kind of made up. Like if I rolled a 6, they made up like, oh, you kind of nicked him or whatever. Or, I don't know. It meant nothing to me, I guess is what I'm saying. And so, and then the random damage, like, oh, you got to roll, 2d4s for your damage. You could roll an 8 at that point and take 8 damage, or you could roll 2 1s and take 2 damage. And it all seems arbitrary. I don't know. But if I'm playing a Euro game and I know I'm going to go through, let's say Clank, for example, it's not really a Euro game, but on the board, there are monsters you have to fight. And if you can't fight it, you're going to take 1 damage. You're not going to roll to see, oh, I took 5 damage that time. It's 1 damage. I know I'm going to take that 1 damage on my turn, period. That's it. I'm ready for it. It's gone. It happened. Big deal. Move on. And so that's, I don't know. I'm not big on randomness either. And so I think I'm done rambling. I don't even know if there's a point to this video, but if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe below to see more videos about whatever I decide to make a video about. Usually it's more structured, board game based, but I feel like this is at least in the ballpark. And something, like I said, I've mentioned before on Discord and in real life a lot about how I'm not a D&D player, and I'm not even really sure why, other than some of these elements I kind of rambled on about in this video. And that's it. So comment below on your thoughts, if you agree with me or if you disagree with me about Dungeons and Dragons, and maybe I should give it another try at some point. Maybe my groups have been wrong. I don't know. I've heard all the excuses. It just hasn't been for me. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and comments below, and maybe you'll change my mind. Maybe not. But I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.